Hey, how's it going? Just want to briefly explain who I am. So my name is Caden. I'm one of the founders here at Everest. I'm like the back-end tech guy. I do a lot of the systems, the ads, automations, all that kind of nerdy tech stuff. And I basically want to record this video to briefly explain how you guys can generate work on Autopilot for your contracting business, no matter what industry you're in, whether you're a hardscaper or a roofer, no matter what you are, this stuff is what the lead gen and marketing companies are hiding from you. And this is how you can scale your business predictably. Okay. So at Everest, at this point, we worked with well over 200 clients, and we worked with people from all different stages, from people just starting out to doing, a bunch of millions of dollars a year. And this is pretty much the systems when it comes to them generating work at all stages. And from my opinion, I think this is really all of what you need to grow a contracting business predictably in 2026. So first things first, all of these systems is what we've used to help get Ryan from $52,000 a month to $344,000 a month, Brett from $6,000 to $40,000 a month, Robbie from $10,000 to $35,000 a month, George from $85,000 to $252,000 per month, and Mike, he was one of our first clients. He started with us at $26K and has recently passed $5 million annually. Okay, I should have clarified that when I put that in here, but it's annually $5 million annually. So we definitely know a thing or two when it comes to generating work, particularly when it comes to the contracting space. So let's get into this. So what do all of these things have in common? We have Google Ads, Facebook page, Google My Business, you got a website, networking, database reactivations, different types of bonuses. They all generate leads. And what do leads generate? Work, which generates money. At the end of the day, we all want to generate more money within our business. And that's why we're looking for these different marketing ventures, whether that money can help us spend more time with our family, make us travel, can help our crews out, make them more busy, whatever it is, money is the backbone to all of that. And it can help us solve those problems in all different types of ways. So first things first, let's talk about Google Ads. So Google Ads are, in my opinion, one of the better ways to actually generate a consistent flow of online leads through online paid advertising. So the one part that's different between Google Ads and Facebook Ads is Google Ads is more of a long-term game. Okay, you're going to be spending maybe $20 to $50 a day, but it's going to take a little bit longer to actually see results because there's a lot that goes into Google Ads. So when it comes to actually setting them up, you have the campaign setup, you have the keyword optimization because Google Ads are really based on a lot of different keywords. There's copywriting. You have to have a great offer, script writing, so that we can actually write compelling scripts to make people actually want to click on our ads and fill out their information with us. And then we want to have you in the ad specifically. So as you can see here, this is an example ad. This is not an actual Google ad. It's actually a Facebook ad, but it is still kind of the same premise when it comes to some stuff. So as you can see here, there's a guy who's actually on the job site. This is a video ad of just like different clips of him working. There's a special offer at the top here, early bird special, 20% off plus a free, type of service at the end of it. And that's a great, great offer. One thing that I want to mention is a lot of contractors, I see this all the time, even when I'm driving around my local town, is you see yard signs and people hand out business cards, and it's just like the business's name and the services they offer. Now, it does really, really pain me when I see that, but I see it all the time. And I actually have never really seen someone do this in the correct way. But you need to have a really, really good offer. Okay. Because you need to have some sort of incentive for people to actually want to reach out to your business. If you just tell people what you do, right? If I was just like, hey, I clean backyards, or I install outdoor kitchens, or I, redo roofs or anything like that, or I maybe install fences. That's all you tell them. Okay, well, there's no actual reason for them to necessarily call you. Okay, but if you have some sort of special offer where it's like, 20% off your yard cleanup plus free weed control. Okay, well, that's actually a specific reason for them to take advantage of that offer and actually call you. It makes people more likely to actually take advantage of what you're showing them. Okay, and then from a Google ad, we need to send them to some sort of page to collect their information. And so that's called a funnel. There's a few different funnel builders that you can use. You use Go High Level, which is $97 a month, or you can use ClickFunnels, which is $120 a month. But we want to make sure that in our high converting funnels, we're actually using the correct messaging to actually drive clicks to make people actually want to, give us their information. We see on average about 50% conversion rate when it comes to ad to actual landing page. So when somebody clicks on your ad, only about 50% of the traffic that's sent to your funnel will actually convert into some sort of lead or job or anything like that. Okay. And with $20 to $50 a day, you can expect anywhere from 5 to 10 leads per day. In low competition areas, you can get $15 to $30. Medium competition, $30 to $50 per lead, and high competition, $50 to $100 per lead. So when I say per lead, it basically means like when someone submits their information to us through that funnel. Okay, so in the lower competition areas, we can expect anywhere to every time we receive a lead, we almost kind of pay about $15 for that lead, right? We spend $15 in ad spend and we may generate a lead from that. And low competition areas or the more well, for example, a high competition area is like New York City. Okay, there's a lot of competition there. There's a lot of people there. There's a lot of different types of business owners in the same industry. And a low competition area might be a faraway suburb that's not really close to a big city. Okay, there might be less landscapers, might be less roofers, might be less fence installers. Really any type of contractor in those specific areas. Okay. So it's obviously going to lead to us having less competition, which we can, take advantage of and get lower cost per leads. So after somebody submits their information, we need to have some sort of automated response because a lot of the times when these leads come in, we might be on a job site, we might be on a roof, we might be servicing a client. Okay. So we need to have some sort of initial messages that go out to these prospects so that way they know that we're actually a real business and that they opted in for something. Okay. So you can set these up in CRMs and basically it's like anything like, hey, their name, just so you're interested in our specific service that we're running. Do you have any questions that you're looking to get answered or are you looking to book? Right. And then you can get a free offer the same week if you do booking same week, right? So that's a good kind of initial message that they can get, or we received your application or we received your information. Thanks for your interest, something like that. Okay. And then we want to answer any questions that they may have within that time frame because they might ask, how much is it? Do you offer discounts? How long will it take? Whatever the project may be. If it's outdoor kitchen, if it's like a deck install or anything like that. One cool thing that has been kind of more so released a lot more recently is AI. So we can actually use AI and configure it in a way where it's actually like conversational and we'll text these people back and answer any questions that they may have. We can also use AI to book these people in. So when we answer these questions, we want to make sure that we're calling up our prospects and then booking some sort of estimate with them and actually going through that kind of sales process. We can actually use AI to our advantage and say this client calls us or this prospect calls us and we can't pick up the phone because we're on a job site. We can actually have AI answer that phone for us and answer any questions and actually book them into an estimate for us. And you really can't tell that it's AI. It's actually very, very impressive. And we can do this with a bunch of different types of CRMs. You can even do it with high level, which again is $97 a month. We have appointment reminders. We want to make sure that we're sending these people appointment reminders to make sure that we're not getting ghosted or anything like that, because that is something that we do come across when it comes to paid advertising, especially Google and Facebook ads. It can happen sometimes, and so we want to make sure that we are reminding that these prospects that we're coming to give them an estimate at a certain time. It could be at 24 hours before, 5 hours, 1 hour, 5 minutes away, things like that. Okay, and then we obviously want to do the work. And then we want to get reviews. This is something that is super, super important. And it doesn't take very long, but a lot of people don't do it. And it's one of those things that is so, so beneficial when it comes to online marketing for your contracting business. So we want to we want to get some Facebook reviews. Facebook reviews don't matter as much as Google, but Facebook ones are very, very important to make the page credibility look, good. So we want to do that. And then after that, we primarily only want to get Google reviews. I would say maybe about 15 to 20 Facebook ones, and then strictly Google after that. Okay. And I'm going to explain some little things after this, because one thing that you'll notice a trend is that a lot of this stuff kind of comes back to getting Google reviews and keeping those clients in our, kind of our database and reactivating them and getting that recurring work. Okay. And I'm going to talk about a little bit more about that later, because there's a way that we can do that in a bunch of different ways and get our, reactivate our clients. So we're not constantly looking for the next job. We can, constantly look for the next job, but we can also use some of our past clients that we've serviced in the past. Okay. Next thing I want to talk about is Facebook ads. So Facebook ads are slightly different, and I want to talk about the different types of buying types when it comes to Google ads and Facebook ads. So with Google ads, th- Google Ads primarily work because somebody's searching up for a specific service. Okay. So if they're looking for a deck installation, for example, and they're looking up, deck installers or deck builders near me, they're searching with intent to find a specific person. Okay. So when they search that up and we have keywords that are optimized, uh, Google ads are going to pop up for them and basically kind of do their magic there and to get people to convert. Okay. So these people are more high intent and they're looking for a specific service. Now, when it comes to Facebook ads, these people are, they might be scrolling on Instagram, they might be scrolling on Facebook, and they might come across your ad and it has some specific offer that they might be interested in. And they look at that and they're like, oh, I'm actually kind of interested in this. Maybe I'm going to take advantage of it. And they're going to click and fill out their information. So both of their intents are slightly different, right? Google ads, they're a little bit higher and they know a little bit more what they're looking for. When Facebook ads are a little bit more cold, but we can get a lot more of them and sell them in kind of the same ways. Okay. Regardless, let's keep going. So we want to be ideally spending anywhere between $20 to $50 a day on ads. And we don't need as much as when it comes to Google ads with the setup process, but we do need good copywriting, a great offer, good script writing, and you. So this is actually a video ad, and that's something that we do for our clients. It works really, really well. You can do image ads as well. It kind of just comes down to testing and sticking it through that initial testing period to figure out what actually is working within your local market. That's something that no one can actually kind of just jump in and judge right away. It has to be tested. It's one of those things that nobody truly knows until they're actually running it in your ad account, or if you're running it for yourself, that's what you have to do. Okay. And then with this, we see usually anywhere between 3 to 8 leads per day if we're spending, $20 to $50 a day. And we usually get at Everest, we usually get around $5 to $20 cost per lead. So cost per lead is, obviously when somebody fills out their information, that's a lead. So every time we spend about $5 to $25, obviously depends on the specific offer that we're running for a specific client. We see about that, which is really, really good. For example, we have a client right now who is in New Mexico, and he is running pretty much all outdoor sod and turf installation. And we're seeing about a $25 cost per lead for him. But these jobs, are a lot higher ticket in his specific area. Okay. And then we have another client who's actually in Texas, he's getting about a $30 cost per lead, so slightly higher than what we usually see for outdoor kitchens and outdoor patios and kind of like hardscaping stuff, retaining walls and things like that. But he's seeing and doing about 1 to 2 jobs per week, and those jobs are anywhere between $10 to $30,000 per job. So it's like you're spending money, but when you get these low leads, but you're able to actually convert them, it's super, super, super worth it. And I recommend Facebook ads over Google ads, in my personal opinion, again, because you can see results a lot faster with that. Okay. So when people click on the ad, we want to have them submit the lead form. We should see about 3 to 8 leads per day. And then again, we want to have some sort of automated response that goes to them just so they know that they submitted their information and we have it. And so they might be looking at for a call, things like that, just to kind of keep them in the loop so they're not just like open-ended and they're like confused about what's going on. You know what I mean? They're actually expecting you to actually call them. Okay. And another thing I wanted to mention is with both of Google ads and Facebook ads, we can actually add some sort of questions and qualifying questions into there. So say there's some specific areas that we don't want, maybe some lower income areas that are specific to you. You can actually exclude those areas in both of the ads managers when it comes to Google ads and Facebook ads. So if there's a specific area again that you don't want, you can exclude those people and you can include only those higher ticket areas and make your marketing towards those higher ticket audiences, those more mainline people or those more higher income households. Okay. And that's kind of what we try to do for a lot of our clients, because obviously the higher income households and those higher ticket areas, the jobs are more higher ticket and they're easier to land. And I don't know about if they're easier to land, but they're on the same level of landing. Okay. And that's just one of those things that you actually have to know how marketing works to be able to kind of do that. But with a long enough period of time, you'll be able to get to that point. And that's just one thing to keep in mind when you're talking to other agencies. Maybe you don't want to work with us, maybe you want to work with somebody else, is make sure that they actually know how to write proper scripts, how to have a good offer, and how to target those specific areas, because it is very, very possible. Okay. Next thing is we want to answer a question. And again, we can do this with AI and have them actually book people in for us, book appointments. That way we can just show up those estimates. We get them appointment reminders, same thing, 24, 5 hours, 1 hour, 5 minutes away, anything like that. Do the work. And then we want to get reviews. Same thing as the Google ads, Facebook, and Google reviews. Okay. And then the next thing I want to talk about is the Facebook page plus a strategy that you guys can use. So the first thing that you want to do when you set up your actual Facebook page is you want to make sure that you have a nice logo and a nice banner that represents your business well. So this is actually this is some random account that I found on Facebook. This is not one of our clients, but this is a perfect example of a very nice, clean, good looking Facebook page setup. So you have a nice logo, nice background that obviously they do, hardscapes and pools and things like that. So you can kind of see that right off the rip, right? They have a lot of followers, things like that, and it's good. It looks reputable. Okay. Next thing you want to do as far as like what do we actually post on our account? It's actually very simple. It's just take pictures of the jobs. You can do before and after. You can do the crews. People love people, so people like to buy from people. That's like one of the kind of the main things when it comes to marketing is people trust people, so they want to buy from other people. Okay, people don't want to buy from some logo or from some massive company. No, they want to have some sort of relationship with the person they're buying from, and that's why everyone buys something in the first place. Okay, so take pictures of the jobs, take pictures of the team members. Maybe you have some fun pictures that you guys are doing. Maybe you're at the job site or it's like a lunch break and something funny happens or just like anything. Obviously, we want to keep it professional, but that it works really really well when it comes to posting on Facebook. As far as how much do we want to post? Really not that much, right? 3 times a week. How long does it take to take a picture and post on Facebook? Maybe a minute, right? It's not a lot of time, and you would be very, very surprised how much work that can bring in the long term. Okay. The difference between setting up a Facebook page and setting up Facebook ads is a Facebook page is a little bit more like a garden. Okay. It takes time, right? You're planting seeds, you have to water them. It takes time for them to grow, for you to actually be able to, get the fruit from those plants. Okay. Facebook ads are kind of like some sort of growth hormone or growth steroid for these plants. It makes them grow a lot faster so you can get results really, really fast. Okay. But regardless, Facebook can take a Facebook page can take some time to actually build up, get some followers. But trust me, it is so worth it, and it's one of the best ways for you to generate work for free. Okay, you take some pictures every week, 3 times a week. You post them a few minutes. Say it takes you 5 minutes, right, to post one post a week. So it takes you 15 minutes a week, and you generate a $10,000 job just from that. Okay, I don't even know how to calculate that math in my head, but 15 minutes for a $10,000 job. I'm doing that any day of the week. Okay. Next thing we want to do, another thing that is really, really nice is again, people like to buy from people. So take pictures with your customers. Okay. This is actually it's just a funny picture that I found, but regardless, it kind of demonstrates what we actually kind of want to replicate here. So we have maybe it's the contractor and he's in the house with the worker and they just got this nice kitchen done, kitchen cabinets. Maybe they were doing some kitchen remodeling or something like that, and they just took a picture with it, a finished product, and they updated it on their Facebook page, and now everyone sees it. It's just kind of like a funny thing to look at, and it makes people very relatable. Okay. And then one thing I want to mention is a little bit of a kind of value alert. So this is something that you guys might find very, very useful, and not a lot of people know about it. So reposting in local groups. So when you post on Facebook, there's actually an option to share it, and you can join these local groups, whether it's like contractors uh, in your town or a town talk or anything like that on Facebook. And I'm sure a lot of the older audience that may be watching this video and use Facebook instead of Instagram are in those groups already. So you can actually share your posts into those groups and it will actually automatically post it. And you can do that for as many groups as you want. So ideally 5+ groups for each post. Okay. So post 3 times a week. You post in 5 different groups. You share that in 5 different groups. That's 15 posts. And now all these local groups where people go in them see you. Okay. So you don't only get recognized from your specific Facebook page. Now you get recognized from all of these local groups. Okay. And one thing that we can do is offer free giveaways in these local groups. Okay. So you post in a local group, hey, we're giving away we're doing some sort of free repaint of siding, maybe like something like that. And we're giving it away for free to one, lucky winner. Okay, you post that in a bunch of different groups, you get a bunch of people to respond, but you only give it to one person. Okay, you have to repaint one person's house, but you may have, say you get 20 leads, 20 people reach out to you, only one of them wins. Okay, well, you still have 19 people that are interested in some type of service. So you could be like, hey, sorry, you actually unfortunately didn't win, but we are giving a special offer to the people who have entered the raffle. Okay. And you can just do that every single week over and over and over again. Respond to all the losers. You get unlimited leads. It's like free, right? And that's just a great way to generate a bunch of people who actually have intent. Okay. Next thing I want to go over is the Google My Business. This is very, very important. I cannot stress this enough. If there's two things that I recommend most out of all this stuff is Facebook page and a Google My Business. Okay, Facebook ads are awesome because you can generate work pretty much instantly. But these things, Facebook page and Google My Business, they're never going away. As long as you stay consistent with them, you'll generate so much work from them. Okay, so you need to be on Google. I stress this enough. Facebook, you can get away with not being on it, but Google, don't let me catch you not being on Google. All right, you have to be on Google. So when people search for a specific contractor near them, okay, say it's a electrician, they're gonna search electrician near me, and a bunch of businesses show up on Google for them. Okay, so here's a little bit of a picture, and you can see I searched up roofer near me, and a bunch of people in my local area showed up. So we have, Bonner Master Roofing, All Roofing Solutions, all these other roofing companies. Okay, and so you can notice that there's a little bit of a trend. So this guy obviously has the highest amount of reviews in my local area. Okay, and then this guy's second highest, and then these guys have lower reviews. Okay, so the more reviews that you have, the higher you're going to rank on Google ultimately. And what do you think the higher you rank means? You're the first person to pop up in your area. You constantly climb the ranks. You're the first person that people see, right? And chances are they're going to call you first. Okay, they're going to call that first thing that they see. If that person doesn't pick up, they're going to do the next one. Okay, I'm going to go over some ways that we can actually capture those people. Say we're on a job site and we're ranked high on Google, and somebody calls us. I'm going to go over some ways that we can actually capture those people, even if we can't pick up the phone. Okay, because a lot of those people, they'll go to the next person in line because they want to get some sort of thing done. Because again, these guys are coming from Google. They're a little bit more high intent. They want something done now. As I'm sure you know, a lot of people in today's day and age, they're a little bit less patient when it comes to things. They want things now, 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 now. And I think it obviously comes down to social media. So with that, it's the same thing when it comes to your customers or your prospects. They want things done now, especially if they're coming from Google. So we want to make sure that we're able to capture those people. And I'm going to explain that here in a second, how we can actually do that. Okay. So again, more reviews, you'll rank higher on Google, and that will lead to more traffic. Okay. And with Google, you'll get calls. And then you'll also need a high converting website. Okay. And that comes down to a functional website. I'm going to go over that here in a second, but a website is super, super important. I'm going to go over the common misconception that people have about websites. Okay. Because it's a huge thing, and most people think one way about them. And I'm going to address that here in a second. Okay. But when you finish a job, ask the homeowner to give a final yes on the job, and then ask for a Google review after. Google reviews are very, very easy to get. You just have to kind of position yourself in the correct way. But you want to ask as many people as you possibly can to get Google reviews. Okay, so that's one thing that we can do is, like, once you finish a job, say you're on a job site, just be like, hey, we just finished the job. Can we go outside and you give, the final look around the house? Makes them feel important. It makes them feel like they've done the final say, and chances are they're going to be like, okay, it looks good. Okay, and then you can ask for a Google review right after that. Another thing that you can do is a 100 Google review hack. So offer, maybe a $50 Amazon giveaway or a raffle to all your past customers and clients. And the only way for them to enter is to actually leave a 5-star review. Okay. Another thing that we can do is negotiations also equal reviews. So say you have some type of client who wants a cheaper price on a specific service, right? Say they're haggling you, maybe they're being annoying, right? We all had those clients. We've all had those prospects before, where they want something cheaper than what it actually should be. Okay. But sometimes you can negotiate it for a Google review. And now you might be thinking, well, it's just a 5-star Google review. How can that actually be beneficial for me? Now, this is where that local SEO comes in, right? The more reviews that we get, the higher we're going to rank. The higher we're going to rank, the more traffic we're going to pull in. So, say, you're offering, this is going to be low, very low ticket job, but say you quote this homeowner $1,000 for a job, and they're like, "Oh, could you do it for $700?" All right, I'll do it for $700 if you leave me a Google review. Okay. Now, that Google review might be worth well over that $300 because down the line, when you have a bunch of these Google reviews, they're generating you work on autopilot. Those Google reviews aren't going anywhere and they're going to keep you ranked high on Google. So, what does that mean? You're going to generate work consistently on autopilot from that stuff. So, any day, I would choose that Google review over $300 any day. Okay. And one thing I want to mention is you can set up all this stuff with automations. I'm going to briefly explain how to set up and automate your Google reviews, right? All this stuff kind of goes back to reviews, and I'm going to explain how you can automate that whole process, but we'll do that here in a second. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is a website. So, websites are super important. I'm sure you guys can understand that and see that perspective in today's day and age. But we want to make sure it's an actual functional website. So, what is a functional website? When you open up a website and you instantly see some sort of form or contact us or call us button right away, that's pretty much what we're talking about when we say functional website. Okay. And when we want to make sure that when we have some sort of form, that form actually goes somewhere. It doesn't get lost in an email inbox or spam, and we don't ever reach out to that prospect. We want to make sure that we're hitting those prospects right away and we're setting up automations similarly to the Facebook and Google ads to get those people instantly and automate responses. We want to have all that stuff sent to maybe a phone number. We can set up a CRM. That's what we do for a lot of our clients to keep all of these central messages in one location. It's just like an app like iMessage, basically just like a business phone number. They can call from it, text from it, all that kind of stuff. All these automated responses, they can see everything all in one spot, and it's not anything different than just an app on your phone, right? Very simple, and it all can just come down from those people submitting a form on your website, right? And now this is the main thing that I was talking about when there's a common misconception when it comes to websites in general. So websites are the bottom of the funnel, okay? They're there to capture leads, not necessarily generate them. So a lot of people, they think that if they get a website, it's going to generate them work, right? They can pay some sort of massive company for this crazy SEO for their website and it's going to generate them a ton of work. Now, that is a mistake that I see a lot. The best way to get work from Google is a Google My Business. At the end of the day, that's it. Okay. And on top of that, actually, I want to mention one thing about the Google My Business is when it comes to posting on there, you want to make sure you're posting on it just like Facebook. Okay. But let's get back to this website thing. So when it comes to like a marketing funnel, right, we have awareness, we have interest, desire. Okay. Usually with awareness, it comes from like ads, it comes from posting, it comes from anything like that. So you post in a Google or a Facebook group, somebody's interested in it, they have a desire to reach out to you, and then their action is going to your website and filling out a form. Okay. So the website isn't there to actually promote your business. It's more so there to capture those leads from other advertising, ways. Okay. So if you post on Google, you send those Google My Business listing visitors to your website. If you post on Facebook, you send those Facebook people to your website. If you post on, or if you run Facebook ads, you send those people to some sort of funnel website, right? It's like all kind of the same thing. The website is really just there for credibility, to get people to submit and to make that final decision to actually take action with you. Okay. And then obviously we want to have some form to collect those visitors and we can automate responses after that. Okay. Next thing is networking. So this is something that, it's obviously very self-explanatory, but people miss it a lot, right? We have a lot of clients that, they don't necessarily want to work with other people, other contractors in their area. Okay. But there's this thing called a BNI conference. Every local town in the United States has one. So you can sign up, and if you get accepted, you would be the only contractor in your industry in that specific conference. So if you're a landscaper, for example, and you apply to it and you get accepted, you're going to be the only landscaper that is allowed to go to that conference. And pretty self-explanatory here. I think we can all see how that would be very valuable to be in a room full of a bunch of different types of contractors. Okay. And on top of that, we want to make friends with those local contractors. Okay. Because if they're doing a job, say they're a roofer and the homeowner's like, hey, I want to get my deck done. Um, you know, if you do decks and you're friends with a roofer and that homeowner says that to your friend, okay, who do you think your friend's gonna first think of? Who does decks? Oh, I have this friend that I met, um, maybe at a gas station or the BNI conference that actually does decks. He does a really, really good job. I'm gonna refer you to him. Okay. And just simple as making friends. And those people are so high in interest, right? Super, super high interest. Okay. The next thing is database reactivations. So we want to make sure that we're leveraging our past client base for more work and also new clients. So a lot of people rely on word of mouth, which is good, but word of mouth can only get you so far. Okay. And I say this a lot. Word of mouth is obviously very, very good. It's very easy to close referrals compared to other forms of marketing, but we don't want to just rely on that because it's not predictable. We don't know when the next referral is coming through. We don't know how long it's going to be, things like that. And so obviously we want to take advantage of those people, but we don't want to rely on it. Okay. We're not going to be able to grow a business like that. Right. We all probably know that one contractor who's, maybe he's 50, he's been doing the business for the last 30 years and he's only done, word of mouth. Over 30 years, maybe he's doing 100K per month with his business over 30 years. If you do all this marketing stuff, you can get to 100K per month in a year. Okay. And I'm serious with that. Even less, Okay. Next thing is email and newsletters. So we want to make sure that when we have our past client lists, we're sending out emails and newsletters, maybe weekly or quarterly with home offers, home tips, weekly home anything really. We want to provide a bunch of value to these people. Okay. So say maybe you do windows. Okay. Maybe you clean windows and you have a list of a bunch of clients. It would be a very smart idea to send out some sort of maybe monthly email that says like, okay, how we're prepping for winter, how we're prepping for spring, how we're prepping for the hot months in August, things like that, right? Homeowner tips. And then homeowners will read that and be like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's actually something that maybe I have to do. Maybe I'll pay the person who sent me the email to do it for me. Wow, right? We want to lead with as much value as possible. If we give people something, they're more likely to give us something back. Okay. So, next thing I want to talk about is the SMS blasts. So it's the same thing, kind of like the email, except you're not really leading with value because SMS can be a little bit spammy. Some people cannot like it, but it is important that we send out at least something quarterly. Okay, and the best chance to do that is with the seasons, okay, or even holidays. Right? There's always some reason to send out a specific offer. Okay, no matter, even if it's like the most boring month of the year, there's always some reason to send out some sort of offer. You make up something, be like, "Hey, it's my grandma's birthday," or "It's my great grandma's birthday, and we're doing this specific offer for it." Right? There's always a reason to do it, and so you might as well send out some sort of special offer quarterly to all of your clients, and say, like you're a past client of ours and we just want to kind of treat you well and we're offering the specific thing, and just send that out to all of them. You can do this with CRMs and again, hook up your business number, see all those replies come to you. And again, this is something that like is super powerful. We've done a ton of times for our clients. And for example, there's this one client that we've been working with for almost 2 years now. And he is just an overall, like kind of like a general landscaper. He does a lot of different things, snow removal, he even does trash removal, all kinds of different things. But he had a lead list of, I think it was like 500 or 600 prospects of his past clients. And so I launched a simple email campaign to all of those people, and we got 14% of people to reply. So that's a ton of people. Right? That replied, and then he closed a bunch of deals and got his season started off to a great start at the end of the day, right? And made a bunch of money from that. Okay. And the next thing we can do is, again, the Google review hack is we can reach out to these past clients and get Google reviews, which will increase our, Google My Business listings and all that crazy stuff. Okay. And the next thing is the bonuses. So we have the 5 door method. So every time you do a job, you want to knock on 5 neighbors' doors and basically just kind of do door to door sales and pitch them and be like, hey, we're doing one of your neighbors' houses. We're giving we're giving a discount to all the neighbors, things like that, and just knock on 5 neighbors' doors. Next thing we want to do is yard signs. So again, yard signs, door hangers, business cards. Make sure you have an offer on your yard signs, on your door hangers, on your business cards. Not just, you don't want to just tell people the services that you do. You want to make sure that you have some sort of incentive for them to actually call you. Okay. So some sort of offer, 20% off, 50% off, $100 off, anything plus something for free. Okay. That was something that works really, really well. We do that. And I can't stress that enough. It's something that people miss all the time. And the next thing is shirts with logos, trucks with logos. And this kind of just goes to overall branding. We want to be like we want to make sure that people can see us in our town. Okay. Now let's talk about how all of this stuff can be managed in a CRM. Okay. And this is what we do for our clients. You can run every single one of these systems and collect all of these leads in one place. And that's what we do. So for our clients, we use Go High Level, and we set up all this stuff for them. And if you guys have your own CRM, you can do stuff like you can automate reviews and have reputation management. When I say reputation management, you can send out custom Google review links to your clients. You make that within a CRM. And if any of your clients review you lower than 4 stars, it'll just go to you personally. And if they do 5 stars, it'll go to Google. So that way you don't ever get anybody below 5 stars on your Google listing, because that obviously lowers your rating, your reputation. So that can help. Missed call text back, right? If you're on a job site, somebody calls you, you can have some sort of automated response, automated AI to call those people back or to text them instantly if you didn't pick up a phone call. New lead follow-up, again, have some sort of automated response. We can auto post these new reviews that we get to our website, our social medias, our Google My Business. So that way, every time we get a Google review, it's automatically posted in all of our areas. So we don't have to do it manually. It's just automatically done. AI chatbots, we have AI voice agents, AI conversation bots, website answering bots, anything like that, all with AI. We can do website hosting in our CRMs. We can have all of our conversations in one spot. So say you have a Instagram page, you have a Facebook page, you have a Google My Business page, and you have like your phone number. Those are 4 different platforms you have to check. Okay. You can hook all of them into one spot, see all the conversations, one thing on your phone, just like a mobile app, like iMessage or something like that. And then finally, doing quality work is one of the best things that you can do for marketing in general. Okay. That should be self-explanatory, and hopefully that you guys do quality work as well, because that's something that it's really hard to build a successful business if your work is not to the level it should be in the standard that it should be. Okay. Because word spreads, people talk in the town, they know maybe what contractor not to go with because maybe they mess this person over or mess that person over. And it's so important for our reputation at the end of the day when it comes to marketing that we are doing quality work, so we can get repeat customers, and that's where we're going to make the bulk of our money. Okay. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you made it this far in the video, hopefully maybe we could work something out to work together. You guys know where to message us. You guys will probably have our phone number at this point. You can just text that and we'll reach back out to you. Again, we don't work with everybody. We want to make sure that we are actually able to help you in the position that you're in. And we focus on long-term partnerships here. Again, we've had clients for, I think one of my clients that I originally started with, he's with me for almost 5 years now. So, we're really focused on these long-term partnerships. We want to help you guys grow. We want to work as a team. So if that interests you, obviously you guys know where to message us. If not, you guys should use these strategies to grow your own business. And hopefully you'll learn something from this video and you can take action and actually start growing your contracting business in a predictable, scalable way. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.